Paddy Pimblett has removed all doubt about what he's aiming for, and Ilia Topuria is the target. With rumors swirling for weeks about Ilia being away and the division stuck in disarray, Paddy has now laid everything out plainly. He's not talking about a future matchup or a long-term plan. The moment Ilia returns, Paddy wants to face him without delay.
Can anybody get under your skin? Does anybody get under your skin? Somebody that knows to say something that triggers. I see your face is saying something though.
I think the only person is my wife. She's the only person.
I'm not going to say I have a ton of confidence in this, but if it comes true, it'd be a cool prediction to have, and that is Ilia comes back. But the bolder prediction is he loses. He comes back too soon, still dealing with all this bullshit, and ends up losing because he's not in the right headspace. But I think Ilia's a smart guy. That's why I'm, kind of on the fence about this prediction a little bit, right? I'm not saying I really believe his prediction or anything. But man, fighters don't like not fighting. They don't like sitting on the sidelines. I can speak from my own experience. Every time I got injured and someone wants to watch a UFC card, it's hard to watch. You can't sit there and watch it. You want to be the guy in there. You want to be the one that people are watching. And I think he's going to have that. He's healthy. He's not, it's obviously he's dealing with some pretty heavy shit, but he's healthy. He wants to come back and compete and fight. And I think he'll end up breaking to that, and he'll end up coming back. But it's not going to be a good time, and he's going to be dealing with shit. And, that's kind of two bold predictions, to be honest. So
I don't train MMA at all. I do boxing classes, wrestling classes, because when the training camp comes, I try to mix it up and polish everything that I have been able to learn, everything that worked for me in wrestling and boxing. I want to develop all the time my knowledge. I want to get better all the time. And I can get better if I only go and train MMA. I need to learn new techniques like in BJJ. You never end up learning. One thing is what you know, and the other is what you do with what you know.
Who do you think should be next for Ilia?
Who should be next for Ilia? 55 has always been so cloudy at the top. Maybe Gaethje. I think him going to 170 to fight Islam, if Islam wins, is a stretch. Islam's big, man. I've never seen Ilia in person, but he seems smaller. I know obviously he can knock anyone out. I do think if they fight, Ilia can knock anybody out from 45 to 170. He has the skills, the power, the technique, and but we've just never seen him in there with somebody that big and somebody with that caliber of wrestling. But I think he should defend the 55 title a few times before that's talked about. We'll see.
Something happened with you and Paddy, or
yeah,
something happened with you guys, right? Yeah. What was that all about? I saw the video.
He said some stupid shit about Georgia, about my country. He said something like, "Now I understand why Russia is throwing bombs to Georgia." And like, bro, you never live in a situation where your country had a war. I lived there in 2008. Don't joke with that. He said that on Twitter.
And then you went and you guys were at the same event and you ran into each other?
I saw him and I went after him like boom.
And it wasn't
That's the title Ilia chose to leave behind. And suddenly the lightweight division falls into place because everything now revolves around one crucial matchup. If Paddy Pimblett can get through Justin Gaethje result, many fans remain unsure about the UFC's left with a perfect scenario. Ilia Topuria returning after personal struggles and stepping straight into a championship fight against the most vocal and controversial figure in the division. A matchup that carries real danger on both sides, since Paddy thrives on chaos. Relentless forward pressure and constant output. Dragging opponents into unpredictable scrambles and uncomfortable exchanges where he builds momentum faster than almost anyone else.
That Paddy.
People mention me to stay relevant, lad, so I don't care.
I was walking into the hotel and I saw him. I threw the bottle to his face. I gave him a proper right hand.
Speak English for the people.
Shut up. You're in English, you get the in Espanol.
You little ass. Go and sit back down.
He's not ranked. He has just a one fight in the UFC. He's nobody. But I want to fight him.
We use as my fame, my publicity, and tries to feed off it because no one cares about his life.
For sure, he needs to win one more fight. If he wins the fight, he can fight for the title. I will give him the opportunity to fight for the title because we have a history behind. So it's going to be a
You're a little
Shut up. If not, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to crash your face right here.
Style isn't polished or flashy, but it never lets up. Once he senses an opponent fading, he only intensifies the attack. Ilia presents the complete opposite approach: calm, precise, striking, high-level boxing, and perfectly measured pressure. Stays efficient, avoids reckless advances, and every time he decides to engage, it's done with clear intent to cause damage. Rather than rushing finishes, he systematically wears fighters down and capitalizes the moment. An opening shows itself. That sharp contrast in approaches is exactly why fans and analysts are divided. With some convinced that Paddy's non-stop aggression and unpredictability could push Ilia into awkward grappling situations and chaotic exchanges early, where structure disappears and outcomes become far less certain.
Versus Paddy is one of the truest grudges that we have in our sport right now. Some of you might not have known about it, and the rest of you might have forgot about it. Was that B-roll and footage exists every bit as much as Masvidal and Leon exist, Ilia and Paddy exist. But how do we get there? One thing that Paddy said about his career, he said, fight Gaethje and then I'll go deal with Charles. But he had a different idea if Ilia won. If Ilia wins and that's the big grudge match, move Gaethje out of the side, he's ready for the title right now.
Paddy Pimblett did come in the cage tonight. There's Armin Sarukin, there's Justin Gaethje. Is that the fight that you want more than anything else?
Yes, that's the fight that I want. With Charles, I had a little bit difficult situation because I really like the guy. He's an amazing human being. But at the end, I was like, this is competition. I have to do my job. But with Paddy, I'm really going to enjoy kicking his ass.
Just vacate, lad, and let the division crack on.
Interim's a genuine title. The people who say it's not a genuine title have never won a title in life.
Yeah, people keep saying, oh, you're probably going to end up like Tom when you win it, it'll get upgraded. And
why would that happen though?
Because people are saying Ilia's not going to be back for at least a year. I don't know, lad. I want to show everyone that I can beat him, but at the same time, if I have me waiting, like Tom was waiting for John, then no. Just vacate, lad, and let the division crack on.
I think it should be Paddy and Ilia. I think that's the biggest fight in MMA.
Headlines. My belief through the headlines is that Ilia was walking away from the UFC championship belt, thus elevating Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett to undisputed title. Now, once I dug into this, I can't quite recall why I thought it in the first place. I mean, once I dug into it, there was nothing in the article that said that Paddy and Justin was going to be undisputed or that the UFC was accepting or that Ilia was surrendering a belt back. And I was talking with Daniel Cormier. Daniel's always got the inside scoop. It's like, hey, Daniel, you just got back from calling this event. What is going on there? Is Justin and Paddy moved up? And Daniel said no. He said that essentially in all of these articles and all of these news waves that have now just come out on Ilia Topuria, it's repackaging what we already knew. It was Ilia coming in front of this thing and saying, hey, I'm dealing with some big stresses in my personal life, and one of the great concerns that I have is that there's going to be a claim made against me for domestic violence, and I'm sitting here and I'm just waiting for this shoe to drop. And until it does, and until I can deal with that, try to work my own personal things back into order, I won't be competing. Now, I think a lot of you are going to hear what I just said and go, hey, Chael, you're 2 weeks late on the story. No, that is the story. The story is that this made headlines for something that we were already told a couple of weeks ago, and there is no escalation from that, meaning Ilia Topuria is not vanquishing or having stripped from him.
Ilia would dismantle him, closing defensive gaps and shutting down the chaos early. That debate has only grown because of the timing, as Ilia's absence was about real-life priorities, not avoidance, while Paddy filled the silence with confidence and constant call-outs. Ilia would return as the calm, focused finisher. Paddy is the fan favorite riding momentum, and if Paddy beats Gaethje, the UFC is left with a matchup that sells itself to styles, to personalities, and one fight that's bigger than just the belt.